Welcome fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic 90s nerds to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where we talk about literally everything from slime to slashers and all that's in between. We're talking about books, movies, TV, pop culture, all kinds of stuff, book reviews, book vlogs, book hauls. Also, lots of movie reviews too, and horror movie marathons. I'm really into that. Tons of 90s movie stuff, so please, if you're not subscribed, stick with me. Sub below if you like all that type of stuff and if you're interested. But today, this video, it's all about books, and I'm going to be vlogging Toy Cemetery. So crazy of a book, I gotta say. So before I get into the vlog, I wasn't expecting to vlog about this book. I was halfway through, a lot was going on, I was like, what the hell, what should I do? Should I do a midway update? Should I start vlogging now? Just so much was going on, I didn't think it was a good idea to wait to review it. I thought I might as well document as I went. But I will say, I would do it a lot differently. This is my first vlog. I would totally probably use a tripod instead of holding the phone up when I was updating you guys. I would do a lot of things different, I think, but it was still fun and a new experience, and I'm so glad I did it. I can't wait to do another one. And I gotta say, this book is crazy. So let me just give you a little bit of information of why I chose to read this book. I've heard so much about it, and one of the things that jumps out in my mind the most is Grady Hendrix's Goodreads review about Toy Cemetery. And I just remember reading it and thinking it was crazy. I saw this available on Etsy and I snagged it because it wasn't that expensive and I just was really intrigued. Then I also vaguely remembered reading about it in Paperbacks from Hell. So the other day, as I was about to prepare to do this intro, I found the passage from Paperbacks from Hell, and I think it's a great description of the book. And before I read the description and before we get into the vlog real quick, I do want to say that if you're triggered by things like sexual abuse, child molestation, rape, incest as well, then I would not advise that you read this book. But if that stuff doesn't faze you, if anything in horror doesn't faze you, like, nothing really fazes me, honestly, right now. Especially when it makes the plot so nuts. I think it kind of adds to it sometimes, because, you know, they're just throwing everything at you, just trying to make something shock you and disturb you, and sometimes I think it works. But we'll just see how I feel about Toy Cemetery as we go through the vlog, so I'll let you guys determine what I felt about it. But here is what Grady Hendrix had to say. Toy Cemetery, 1987, achieves maximum Johnstone. Vietnam vet Jay Clute returns to Victory, Missouri, where he grew up, with 9-year-old daughter Kelly in tow. Within hours of his arrival, Jay discovers that the two major local landmarks are 1, an enormous doll factory in the center of town run by an obese pedophile named Bruno Dixon, who films satanic kiddie porn in it, and 2, a high-security hospital / mental institution / underground research facility that houses the products of incest, enormous man monsters with apple-sized heads and superhuman strengths. Tiny toys run amok, as does incest. Jay and his daughter almost hook up their first night, only to snap out of it when the crosses they're wearing clink together. Reading this book is like driving through a dust storm while in a post-concussion haze. The harder you try to focus, the more everything slips away into insanity vortex. A supermarket checkout girl's head explodes, but no one seems to mind. Possessed teenage boys follow Kelly through town waggling their inappropriate boners until she fights them with karate and kills one with an axe. Everyone has a secret doll collection. A tiny French general leads a toy army. Johnstone piles incident on incident, trope on trope, and if something isn't working, he keeps on piling. When time itself needs to be brought to a screeching halt, Jay Clute just pulls out his gun and shoots a clock. Because clocks make time, right? In William W. Johnstone's world, why not? So that is such a great description of the book. He perfectly encapsulates the book and summarizes it really well. And it sounds insane, doesn't it? And it is insane. And as you see me reading and going through it, you'll discover me discovering how nuts it truly is and how just out there it truly was when I was reading it. So I can't wait for you guys to see my experience with this. It was, I gotta say, during my vlog, I said that the word to describe it was not enjoyable, but I gotta alter that. Having had a few days to think about it, it was a fun read. It was a page turner for me. There was a day where I read almost 180 to 200 pages in the book at once, like one day. I never do that, so I really enjoyed this book, I gotta tell you. And I know I said in the vlog, you'll see later, I said, enjoyable is not the right word. But you know, there was a lot of weird stuff, and there was like just so much nonsensical stuff. And I will say, I have some criticisms, as you'll see, of Johnstone's writing, but we'll get into all of that. Here you go, right after this intro, you'll see my whole vlog. And my dog Jackson, he makes an appearance, so stay tuned for that. He begs for some meatballs. So you get to see that. Also, just a little warning, I'm in various stages of just decrepit unkemptness. I totally look terrible in this vlog. My hair is unkempt. I'm in the middle of doing the vlog right after I ran one day. One day I was super sweaty and kind of like sunburned outside when I first started the vlog. So yeah, my hair is crazy during this vlog, but enjoy it because it's actually kind of funny how unkempt I was the whole time. It was me kind of lounging around, being lazy for a few days, and that is the product of the laziness. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Please enjoy the vlog. It's about to start, Gut Buckets, so hold on to your butts. May the force be with you. I'll be back, and get ready to engage. Alright guys, I'm in the middle of reading Toy Cemetery by William W. Johnstone. I'm just sitting out here on my back patio in my little porch swing, as you can see. And this thing is getting crazy. I'm like, should I do a midway update? What should I do? Should I talk about it? It's a really nice day. It's windy, it's breezy. It kind of just rained earlier, but at least that makes it not humid here in New Orleans. Sometimes the rain does make it very extra humid, but not today. So got lucky with that. I was like, I should read and just take a break from working and read for like an hour. I have marked so many pages in this book, it's not even funny. And I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how I'm gonna wrap this up. There's so much to dive into. One, there's some disturbing stuff where like all these kids are in danger of getting sexually molested, which is really, really disturbing and really just out there and crazy of an idea. And a lot of the people in the town are like getting overcome with like this evil. It's like not of their own accord. It's almost like a sexual molestation ring
from hell.
Like, because it's not of the people's own accord. It's, I guess, from some other influence. It's almost hinting at that. One thing I do notice about the writing style, besides all the creepy stuff about kids, is that he has, in the dialogue, the people's names repeated so many times. There's this one page which I counted 9 times. This character Jay is referred to by name by another character, Diva. And I'm like, what the heck? Why is she saying his name every other sentence? Like, that's not how people talk at all. So before I forget that, I wanted to mention that was something that was sticking out in my mind. But there is some crazy stuff, like there's time stopping and almost like, you know, a dead area of time where they go into this house and like time stops. There's toys coming to life, but we haven't gotten like a lot into the toys yet, and we're 155 pages in. More of it's been like the teasing of there's something going on in the town, like something's wrong with all these people who, some of them are succumbing to like molesting children, and it's just really weird. So there's a group of younger kids who are kind of trying to fight this evil and know what's going on. And 2 of the parents of 2 of the children, they are also not affected by this kind of weird thing happening in the town. And so the 2 parents and the group of kids, they're all trying to fight against it. And the kids specifically, they even call themselves like a gang. And they're like, there's a gang war of kids going on in the street. So the kids have to kind of fight off these other kids who are getting negatively influenced by this crazy molestation power, or just like general evil power. And so the kids, at one point, there's like hatchets and knives thrown, and this one little girl, she throws a hatchet to protect herself and the group of friends she's with, and the hatchet like gets into another kid's skull and like kills the kid. I'm like, what the hell? It's not really a spoiler because we're only halfway through and crazy stuff happens, and it's like not even, it's a paragraph that I just told you about, so it's not really a spoiler. But if you don't know anything that's happened in this book, I wouldn't say you should watch any of my review, but in this case, it's one little paragraph, and there's plenty more. Like I said, I can't wait to get to more of the toy part, because that's not explained at all. We just heard a little tiny bit. We read one little part about the toys coming to life, and basically it was like this, I think it might have been like a German or some kind of foreign toy, and it was like speaking in a different language, and this cop and the little girl and her dad heard the toy talk, and they saw him come to life. Then the next second he's not alive. But we don't get a lot more into it yet. We've seen some toys peeking through curtains. We've seen like dead animals, which they imply that they think the toys have killed. So lots of stuff happening in this crazy ass book. I cannot wait to get more into it, and I'll try to keep updating, and of course we'll have an overall review at the end as well. See you guys. Alright guys, I am about to read more of Toy Cemetery. It's the same day as when I just checked in, but a little bit later. And I just showered because I spent an hour, I went over to my mom and dad's house, and my dad and I freaking looked in the attic, and it was hot as hell. We looked in that attic for so long to try to find some fake cockroaches for my review of Gregory A. Douglas's The Nest, which, by the way, I freaking loved. And I'm gonna film that review tonight. But instead of finding the fake cockroaches I was looking for, we couldn't find them. We found a whole bunch of bugs and spiders, and my dad was all excited about it. But instead, I found this awesome, huge, 70-inch Roach pool float, which I will, in a little while, freaking blow up. And hopefully I can find my air pump for like balloons and stuff, or else I have to do this myself without the pump. So I hope I can find it. But before that, I want to cool down a little bit after my shower, because I'm still all overheated when I was over at my parents' house in the attic. So now that I'm home, I'm going to read a little bit more of Toy Cemetery, relax, before I freaking blow out my lungs by freaking doing this pool float. Why was I looking for fake cockroaches, and why would my parents have fake cockroaches? Why do they have this pool float? Why do they have a ton of fake bugs? Well, you can watch my review of The Nest on YouTube, because by this point it will already have been posted. So yeah, I'll have a link up here for it, so check it out if you want. I'm gonna have that up, and all will be explained about the Roach stuff and why my parents have freaking so many bug things and other strange things. My family's weird. Alright, well, let's get to reading, okay? Alright, I only got 30 more pages in because I really gotta start like eating dinner and getting ready and doing other things, so I can't really read too much right now. But so there's this whole element, like I kind of teased earlier, about these little toys that apparently come to life, hence the name Toy Cemetery. But we're like 183 pages in, and we still don't know a lot about these toys that apparently come to life. I told you about the scene earlier where they saw one of them come to life, and then they were like all questioning, oh, what's happening? This can't be real, this can't be real. Then later, you know, more stuff happens with toys, like when two of the characters are trying to leave town, actually 3 of the characters, trying to leave town, they see a little toy with no legs, like the legs have been chopped off or something, crawling across the road like he's alive with blood trailing after him, and they're all like sad, like, oh no. And then they come back into town, they end up talking to this priest who's a helpful priest who's trying to kind of fight the evil in the town along with the kids, along with some of the good adults. They're all trying to fight this supposed evil, this supposed, I guess, influence that is making people act crazy and also making some people molest kids. At this point, so they're talking to the priest, and the priest knows more about these toys, and so everyone is like, please tell us more about the toys, and it's just kind of frustrating because the priest is like, later, tonight, later, like it's always pushed off to later. But there is one thing about the toys that was revealed, that the toys could be, you know, maybe perhaps people turned into toys. So that was a little spoiler right there, but I'll like put a text that there was a spoiler so that nobody sees that if they don't want to. But, I mean, we know that the toys are alive, so it's kind of been implied that it's probably people. I mean, hell, it was implied in, like, the first, like, teaser page that perhaps, like, these toys were real people that were turned into toys. And that then, subsequently, they can move, they can talk, but they could also then kind of turn back into just being a toy where it looks like they're not alive. So, I don't know. I'd like to know a lot more about these toys. We're almost halfway through the book, because the book is, let's see, the exact length here, 412 pages, so not quite halfway, but very close to halfway, and I still haven't seen my fill of toys, and it's called Toy Cemetery, so I want to see more toys. There's a lot going on in this book, and that's, like, the thing that I think is a little weird, is that there's so much going on with, like, the children thing, with all, like, the weird sexual stuff, you know, with everyone being scared about molestation and all that. And also this guy coming back to the town where he used to live, his daughter and him, like, experiencing the town, and the guy, like, interacting with all these old people from the town. So there's that element, there's this priest, there's this group of kids who, like, are almost like the monster squad, but they're, like, the evil squad in this town who's trying to fight all the evil. So there's all these confusing elements, like, mixed together. So to me, it's like, the book is all over the place. But I gotta say, I'm still enjoying it because I'm like, whoa, what's gonna happen next? It is like a page turner in that you're like, this is so zany and unusual, and really the plot is just bonkers. But, you know, I heard it was bonkers, so I'm not surprised. So far, so good. But I mean, it's like, it's not amazingly written, and I gotta say, it's not like, you know, it's not like an award-worthy book or anything, but it is a crazy time, because you're like, what the hell? What the hell? Like, you just keep thinking that over and over again, you know? So, that's where I'm at right now. I'll pick up more, maybe later tonight, after I film some more videos and stuff that are non-vlog related. So, till next time, guys, thanks for reading with me. I'll touch base with you later. What you doing, Jax? You want my meatballs, don't you? You already had a meatball. Stop trying to eat my foods. Stop trying to eat my foods. What you doing? You got your own food, you knows, and I put a meatball on top of it. What are you doing? No, Jax. No meatballs. Are we really just gonna stare at each other for the whole time? It's working. Gonna take forever. No! It already freaking popped out. I think it's inflating a little. So, I just got done running. My hair! I took out a ponytail that looks nuts. Anyway, this is ridiculous. Alright, so it's been like over 24 hours since I checked in. Actually, it's been like over a day. I'm so tired right now from running in like the freaking heat. My face is all red. Oh, I'm exhausted. So anyway, it's been a while is the point since I checked in. So I just wanted to say, even though I haven't gotten far, that these freaking kids are idiots. The kids in the books are morons. The adults are like, okay, you're in trouble for the hatchet. The police are trying to arrest the kid who threw the hatchet at this other kid, as I told you guys before. And now the adults are like, okay, you have to stay in the house, we're gonna go run an errand. They convinced the cops not to arrest the kids. And so the kids are like, okay, we'll stay here. As the parents are driving off, they see the kids sneaking away. And they try, they think about getting out and stopping them, and then one of the adults is like, no, they gotta do what they gotta do. The kids are just riding around for no reason. They're like, let's go mess with people. Let's go see if people are acting weird. Dude, you guys are in trouble. You almost got arrested. You know the whole town's out to molest you. Why are you going to go off on your bikes and not just stay in the house? So they go off and they start to pick on this guy, which is one of the main bully guys, one of the main adult troublemakers who's probably involved in the whole thing. He's probably at the center of this satanic molestation thing. Anyway, they go up to him and they start teasing him, and then a whole bunch of cops encircle them and they arrest him. So you know what's gonna happen? Something bad, something really disgusting. These kids are morons. Why didn't you stay in the house? I would understand if they were going out to fight evil or to go visit the priest who's been helping them. But no, they went out to go pick on this dude and to go see if people were acting weird. And the adults saw them leaving and sneaking away and didn't do anything because they thought, I don't know what they thought. So the book is interesting and all, but like there is some weird writing and some plot twists and stuff, and plot developments, I should say more. It's more accurate. That I don't agree with. So anyway, excuse the hair. It's pretty ridiculous. And the redness, but I am so freaking just spent right now. So I'm gonna update again, but I just wanted to tell you how dumb these kids are in this book. Anyway, see you later. As you can see, the inflatable Roach has begun deflating because I unplugged him. So, he's dying. His little arms and antennae. It's both of his antennae. He's upside down, of course, but yeah. It's all just flat. Okay, I'm about 100 more pages into Toy Cemetery. It's been a couple of hours, and it's actually getting kind of fascinating to where I don't want to put it down, I have to admit. But there is a lot of weird shit, pardon my French, happening all at once. I think the writing at times is a little confusing because it just jumps all over the place. Maybe I just don't like William Johnstone's style, because to me, it's just like jumpy. And sometimes I have to reread the beginning of a paragraph to really realize what's going on. But, I mean, all kinds of stuff is happening at the same time. Like, Black Mass has happened. There's a big thing about time, and time is playing a factor in what's happening and all this corruption happening in the town. And a character was kidnapped and brought into this institution. Characters we thought were good may not be good. We don't really know. It's not answered yet. And so I'm kind of like, I want to keep reading because I'm like, what's going to happen? And grossly enough, so not only is molestation a thing in the book, but also incest. Molestation's bad enough, okay? Like, it's really quite disturbing to read about it. But then incest, and also there's like some rape in the book as well. So it's really like kind of overwhelming to your senses and sensibilities, and you're like, oh my god, this is kind of horrible. But once you get past that, it's like the book is almost unputdownable, or it's getting to be that way. I was kind of slogging through some parts, but now that I'm about like 130 pages away from the end, it's getting kind of crazy. So, and there was also at one point this like Evil Dead spirit memory like playing over again, or was it really a spirit appearing to them? But I will say my one big thing is there's not a lot going on with the toys. This book is called Toy Cemetery, and yet where is the stuff with the toys? It's barely been touched upon. We get a little more info since the last time I updated you. I mean, the toys, you know, some of them are good and some of them are bad, I gather. But we don't really know, like, how, if they are alive, how they came to be alive. I mean, are they people's souls trapped in toys' bodies? And if that is confirmed, like, in, you know, solid stone, because the book is like very like, are they this? Are they that? Perhaps they're that. But if it really is that they're people trapped in the toys' bodies, how did they get in there? But we still don't even know what they are, so I'm not giving anything away because we just don't know yet. There's a lot left up in the air as of right now. And yeah, it's some crazy things, lots of evil going on in the town, lots of terrible people. And I want to see more toys though. That's what I'll be happy with if we get into like the last 150 pages, you know, one of the two. Even if it was just the last 50 pages where something happens with the toys, I'll be excited because, you know, I kind of wanted it to be like an evil Toy Story or something. And I feel like that part is very weak of the story. It's really more focusing on the just evilness in the town, and there's something influencing all the people in the town and like exuding evil, let's say. So yeah, I gotta say, even though I hate parts of this book, it's getting to the point where I'm like, what? It's crazy, what's going on? And I kind of can't wait to finish it, to be honest with you. So I'll update you again later. Till next time, see ya. Here is where I do some of my reading. In my office / display room. So if you guys are curious, this is where I've been reading Toy Cemetery a little bit. Not all of it, but it's nice to look around at your stuff while you read sometimes. So there you go. This is the chair. The reading chair. Dun dun dun. On page 313, more toys! That's all I'm gonna say. There are more toys, thank God. Something's happening with the toys. Alright. While I'm reading, I just wanted to show you guys my thematic socks. I am wearing Chucky Finster socks, see? Like Chucky has the little planet, blue and red. Anyway, back to reading. I'll update you guys soon. Okay, so after I updated you last, I actually stayed up and read almost until the end of the book. So I read another 110 pages. I had about 12 to 15 pages left, and I got so tired because I was drinking flavored moonshine that I fell asleep on the flippin' couch as I was reading. I was so close to the ending, but I just was zonked out after that. It wasn't fully the moonshine, I was kind of tired in general, but whatever. It was partially the moonshine, I guess. But I just finished Toy Cemetery. It's now the next night, and I've just finished it. I couldn't pick it back up right away, but I've got all kinds of conflicting feelings about this read. Parts, as I said before, I loathed, and I was just like, this is weird, and the writing style is very bothersome at times. It's just annoying, and all the characters in the book, it's very choppy, the way he kind of almost segues from scene to scene. It's like he has the characters going on all of these random errands that just don't make sense to me. He's like, okay, they go there, they're sitting at the house at one point, but they're going over here, they're leaving to go do random pointless shit that just does not make sense to me. So to me, the flow and the pacing was very odd. So that part was annoying. As I said, the repeating of names, could that have been some kind of deeper meaning where he had some certain characters repeat other characters' names because it was like a hint of they're like not normal or something like that? I don't know. But I will say, so it must mean something that I almost read 200 pages in one day, and I literally read like 150 pages in a row. I almost finished it completely. I just got tired. But so that means something that I was like, oh, I want to see what happens. I keep wanting to turn pages and stuff. Another big thing is there was a big battle scene, which was okay. I will say the toys do become a little more prominent within the last 70 to 50 pages of the story, but still not as big of a part of the story as I was hoping, because to me, although yeah, it ramped up with the toys at the end, it just was not enough to be called Toy Cemetery. To me, it really focused more on this really creepy incest, really creepy molestation aspect of the story, and in fact, the ending was so unsatisfying, like the last 2 pages, I was like, ugh. But I will say, like, it was like kind of like a read where you were so intrigued and you kept thinking, what's gonna be next, what's gonna be next. I just don't know if I like William W. Johnstone's writing style, to be honest with you, so will I pick up another one of his books? Probably, I guess, just to see if I would like it more, but this really was a read that I was intrigued by because I had read Grady Hendrix's review on Goodreads, which was kind of bonkers, and it made it seem pretty crazy. And I knew there was going to be offensive stuff going in. That part really didn't bother me. I mean, I know that old school paperbacks have taboo subject matters and touch on taboo things. It just is what it is. If horror doesn't disturb you, you know, really, what's the point? Like, the whole point is to be disturbed and uncomfortable. And if you don't like feeling uncomfortable, like, maybe you shouldn't read horror. Or maybe, you know, if you're triggered by certain things, which I could understand, like sexual abuse or, you know, rape or any of those really creepy, off-putting things, then you shouldn't read this particular horror book. But there's plenty of other horror books that wouldn't touch on that type of thing, possibly, and be okay. But overall, it's so hard. I don't know how to rate this book at all. I'm thinking maybe a 3.5, but at the same time, I read a lot of it in one sitting where I was, like, kind of really into it at one point, but also very frustrated by it in another way. So it's like 3.5, 3.75, maybe 4. I'm thinking 3.75, even though it's a really weird rating. And I may even round it up on Goodreads. Although I do think, you know, I feel like the book was a little overhyped, and I've seen other people say that they actually don't like it either. I gotta say though, I'm glad I read it. I'm always glad I read things, because to me, I would advise to read it because why not judge for yourself? I'm all for judging for yourself. That's like kind of my thing. I say, why not read it? I'm never going to say I don't recommend this at all. I mean, I may say that one day, but especially if a book's super boring. But if the book is not boring, I say why not just pick it up and judge it for yourself. That to me is the thing you should do. Don't just take my word for it and my little review. Even though it was fun vlogging it, I feel like you should still form your own opinion of it as well. So why not? If you're intrigued by it, if you've seen Grady Hendrix's review, if you've now seen my vlog and you're like, I kind of want to see what this is all about, then by all means, check it out. But just do be warned about those triggers, because yeah, it's kind of got some terrible stuff, especially when it comes to kids being, you know, abused, but also the kids are in on it in some ways. The kids are like, yeah, we're part of the problem. We're influenced by evil. We're kids and spawns of Satan. That's nothing new in Paperbacks from Hell type of books either. Kids being creepy, kids being evil, kids doing things that are really outrageous and things kids should not be doing. It's a thing. It's a trope, I suppose. Anyway, definitely evil kids is a subgenre, but just tropes of kids doing stuff that they're not supposed to in these type of books is definitely a thing. Overall, I gotta say though, I don't know. I wouldn't say enjoyable is a good word to describe it, but perhaps just, I don't know, entertaining in a way. Not enjoyable at all, but entertaining, where you were like, what's gonna happen? I will admit though, not as good as I had hoped it would be. Especially with the toys. As I referenced in my last update, I was hoping it'd be like Evil Toy Story, and it was not that, and that's not really a spoiler. It's just like, you know, not enough toys for my taste. I just wanted them to be super involved in the story, and also, I wanted them to be extremely evil and in your face. And to me, it wasn't like that. It shouldn't even be called Toy Cemetery, in my opinion, but whatevs. He called it that, and it is what it is. That kind of lessened my enjoyment because I just kept expecting something that didn't end up happening, and whatever. But overall, I don't know. It's so hard to put into words what I'm feeling. I know I'm kind of going on and on. Whatever. It was nuts. I will say, it was batshit crazy. I think that's probably the best way to describe the read. Batshit crazy. Because, yeah, it was out there, it was flipping weird, it was confusing at parts, and I don't know. Whatever. Check it out and see for yourself. And please, if you have already read it, I'd love to know what you thought in the comments below, because it's all about opinions and sharing opinions. I love that. So if you've already read it, let me know what you thought. If you haven't read it, why not check it out for yourself? Whatevs. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this vlog. I know it's been long, but it was a lot of fun. I've never done a vlog before, but this was a perfect book to do it with because I think it would have been a lot harder for me to have read it and then like waited a week to review it. I would have forgotten things. There was so much happening. I will say there were some cool elements where there were these creatures that were roaming around the town that were like products of, I don't even want to say what they're products of, but they were creepy creatures, and those were kind of cool and described very, very much in detail, and I think those seemed very eerie and scary. Otherwise, I don't know how much was scary. It was more just off-putting stuff, and stuff that was, like, kind of gross to me. That was, like, bleh, especially with the child stuff. It was just, like, eh. Other than that, like, scary per se, I don't know. There were some great scenes and descriptions in the battle, and a lot of people died. I'm not going to say who, obviously, but, yeah, there was some action there in the last 50 pages for sure, but was it really super scary? No, but there was some gore at least, so check it out for yourself if you want to. Thanks, guys. See you later.